Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonya Maya. I'm a 5th year psychology doctorate student that likes to post real life applications to psychology, relationships, as well as some content on sex education. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on bell notifications. So today I want to talk about squirting. And I've heard it be referred to as female ejaculation, and I'm not sure if I actually like talking about it in that way or using that term, because I just learned that a lot of women who squirt, they're not actually having an orgasm when they squirt, whereas most of the time when a man has an ejaculation, it's his orgasm. That's his big explosion and climax, right? A lot of women do have an orgasm when they squirt, but many women, they can squirt without having an orgasm. And I've heard some individuals say that do squirt, that even though they enjoy squirting and it has brought a lot of joy to their sex life, their partners would focus a little bit more on the squirting than the actual orgasm, which is more important. The pleasure is more important than the outburst of liquid. So what is squirting? During sexual stimulation, some women report the discharge of a noticeable amount of fluid from the urethra. A lot of people think that it's pee, but it's not, and I'll get more into that later. It is a controversial topic of squirting because there's still people out there that try to say that it's pee, but it's definitely not. And the quantity of the female ejaculation is due to many variables, such as how aroused a woman is. This is also true for the amount of vaginal lubrication a woman has, but lubrication and squirt are two very different liquids. Approximately 10 to 50% of individuals with vulvas can squirt. Some people say that when you squirt, it's from G-spot or clitoral stimulation, or G-spot and clitoral stimulation at the same time. Whether or not everyone has a G-spot is also a controversial topic in the sex education world, but it's not to be confused. You can squirt from clitoral stimulation on its own. It's just more likely when there's a dual stimulation and penetration for someone to squirt, but you can squirt from just doing what it is that you really like, and that can be from the outside of the vagina, like right on the vulva. It can happen with an orgasm, it can happen without an orgasm. You can't ever make somebody squirt. Like, you can help them get there, but someone can always stop themselves in their head from squirting. They have to be very comfortable in the moment. They can't be too much in their head, and they have to have somewhat of a sense of what's going on down there. They have to have somewhat of a sense of their vulva and feel comfortable with it in order to feel relaxed enough to squirt. Because in order to squirt, you need to relax your pelvic floor, which can be very hard for some people, especially if they've never practiced it. And a lot of sex experts say that you should learn how to squirt on your own. And a lot of people think about it as something that happens with a partner, but individuals that squirt often, they generally figured out how to do it on their own first, or they found out by accident with a partner, but generally on their own. It doesn't always look like it looks in porn. A lot of the time when you see in porn, it's like all this squirting coming out like a hose or something, or like a fountain. But a lot of the time, it's just liquid gushing from the vagina. It can happen with solo masturbation. And like I said, I was going to describe, there can be some components of pee in squirt, but it's not all pee. You can actually tell the difference. So this woman, Lola Jean, who talks about squirting on Beducated, which is a site that I am collaborating with on TikTok and on YouTube. She is very experienced squirter. She actually owns the World Guinness record for volume of squirt, as in like the amount of liquid that has come out of her vagina. And she has a lot to say about it. And she talked about how she would pee in a cup and then squirt in a cup, and she could tell there's a difference in the way it smells and the way it looks a little bit. And she said that with squirt, it smells like cereal, like wheat. And with pee, it just smells like pee. So there is a difference in the way it smells and also in the way that it tastes, apparently, because she's had people taste both of them and report that there's different flavors going on there. I don't know if it tastes like cereal, but it smells like cereal. What is squirt? So it's a combination of urea, uric acid, and creatinine. And it's released by the Skene's gland, which is also known as the female prostate. And that sits at the lower end of the urethra. Some people report that they feel like they have to pee before squirting, but there is a study that shows that it's not just pee as well, because there was a study from 2014 that collected 7 women, and these are women that report that they have a massive fluid emission, like they squirt a lot when they have sex. All participants were sexually stimulated on an empty bladder. So all 7 of the women even though they had empty bladders, some of them noticed bladder filling just before squirting, so there was a little bit of pee there, but it couldn't have been all pee because there was a lot of squirt and just a little bit of pee because there's only a tiny little bit of bladder filling. So that proves that it's not just pee as well. There's also a hormone called PSA that is produced from the Skene's gland, and that is shown more in squirt than pee. There's no way to know if everyone can squirt. Lola Jean was saying she thinks that any woman that has like a good relationship and a comfortable relationship with their vulva and their vagina can squirt, but in my opinion, I don't really think that anatomically every woman can, because it's been talked about by many sex educators that a lot of women that don't have a G-spot, they don't have the anatomical structure for a G-spot, therefore they can't come on the inside and they can't come from that kind of penetration. It would be my hypothesis that individuals that can't squirt may be, you know, in the same group of individuals that don't have a G-spot. But knowing that you can come and squirt from clitoral stimulation, maybe all women can, and we just haven't gotten to that point of comfort. It's been shown suction toys can often make you squirt. I don't have much experience with this, but it looks like this, a suction toy. So those could be helpful if you want to try and use something other than your fingers. Lola Jean shared on Beducated the motor rev technique that she uses on herself, but you can use it on yourself or with a partner. So basically, this is how I could describe it because it's hard to describe, but I'll do my best. I personally think I look like I'm trying to be like Spider-Man, but basically you take your middle finger and your ring finger, and these are the ones that go in a hook motion. You don't do the come hither. The come hither apparently leads you to queef town. Like if you go like this too much, you want to finger in the same direction that the vagina goes up, not like this, but like this, you know? And then the pointer finger and the pinky finger, they rest on each side of the labia. So these are the two fingers that are doing the work. And as these are doing the work, you use your palm, like your heel of your hand, to stimulate the clitoris. So this goes on top of the vulva, on top of the clitoral hood. So while you're fingering, you're stimulating the clit and penetrating at the same time. So when you're doing this for a while to yourself or to another person, a lot of the time they'll start to feel this like rush of liquid inside. That means if you hear that and if you feel that, then you could probably squirt. So that's what Lola Jean described, the motor rev technique. A lot of people on TikTok, like I mentioned it for one video and they were like, please describe it. So I did. But before that, people were like, I tried Googling motor rev technique. I just kept getting motorcycles. And I was like, okay, I will try to describe it. And luckily that video is doing well and hasn't been taken down. Because I was like, no, I said the word clitoral in the video, so I was very anxious that I was gonna get a violation because God forbid I say a body part on TikTok, right? Anyways, let's not go on a rant about that. So a lot of sexologists, they say you should use a towel or put like a tarp down. Lola Jean has this like special blanket that she recommends. I will try to find more information on that. If you're interested, comment below. This special blanket that you can use and you could just throw it in the wash rather than having a towel, which might not be as comfortable. And just so you know, if you can't squirt, there's nothing wrong with that. What's more important than squirting is pleasure. And also ask yourself, why is it that you want to squirt? If you want to squirt but for the pleasure of somebody else, to make someone else feel good, to be like, ooh, I made them squirt, then that's probably not a great reason. It should be more about, I wonder what my body can do. I wonder if this is something that I can enjoy. And Lola Jean also says in their videos that keep in mind that it's a blessing and a curse in a lot of ways. A lot of the time when somebody squirts and they figure out how to do it, they end up squirting every time, and it is taboo in some ways. Or some people might frown upon it because they don't want all of this mess happening. Some people fetishize it. They're like, ooh, yeah, I want you to squirt. And, you know, they look that up on porn, even though it's not a realistic squirting. So it is fetishized in a lot of ways, which is also kind of frustrating because what's more important is your personal pleasure and if you're enjoying yourself and if it's bringing you pleasure, not just doing it for somebody else, because then it's not really worth it. It's not really fun just to do things for other people. You know, sex is reciprocal. It's for both people to have an orgasm if they both want to have an orgasm. The orgasm is the more important thing, in my opinion, than the squirting. But comment below what you think about that, because I think it's an interesting topic. And I'm gonna try to stray away from calling it a wet orgasm. My bubby called it that. Because it's not an orgasm all the time, you know? It's wetness that happens from stimulation, but it's not always leading to the climax. So Let me know what you think. But don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on bell notifications. I'm gonna try posting more. I've been very busy with internship interviews and dissertation and all this other stuff going on. But I really do appreciate you supporting me, engaging with my videos, and having thoughtful discussions in the comment section. I will see you in the next video. Bye.